Have you ever stopped to think about what really happens in someone's mind when you just vanish? I'm not talking about taking a break or stepping back a little. I mean completely disappearing as if you never existed. Reality is, people become too accustomed to your presence. They start to believe that you will always be there, no matter how they treat you. You've given them the comfort of knowing that you'll always be available, always an option. And that sense of security can lead to complacency. But what happens when you finally decide that enough is enough? You've been holding on to them as if they were essential to your life, but did they ever treat you like you truly mattered? The answer is most often no. They took you for granted, believing that your love and attention would always be there. However, the moment you choose to disappear, that's when everything shifts. They suddenly realize what they've lost. It hits them hard, and trust me, they never saw that coming. In an instant, the control they thought they had slips right out of their hands. They are left alone, wrestling with their own doubts and insecurities. Your absence becomes a painful reminder of the energy, love, and support you once offered them. And let me tell you, they crave what they can no longer have. When you choose to step away, you transform into the mystery they can't quite solve. The void you leave behind creates a whirlwind of emotions for them. As time passes, they start to feel the cold reality of life without you. It's not just that they miss you. They realize they took you for granted, and that they never really appreciated your existence in their lives. Your absence resonates like a loud echo, reminding them of everything they lost. The truth is, you're not the one losing sleep over it. They are. You've shifted the dynamic, and now they are left questioning their own actions. Sometimes it takes this kind of drastic step to show them that you are irreplaceable. The silence you leave behind forces them to confront a harsh truth. They never valued you until you were no longer around. It's a wake-up call they never expected, but one that can ultimately lead to growth for both of you. So here's the challenge. Step back and let them experience the void you leave. When they begin to reach out, trying to pull you back into their world, remember that you are the one holding the power now. You've shown them what life can be like without your presence. As you reclaim your energy and your space, you'll discover the strength that comes from knowing your worth. If you found this message empowering, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to Inner Fortress for more content like this, and share it with anyone who needs to hear it. Together, let's embrace the journey of self-discovery and strength. Number 1. Realization of loss. When you pull away, they start to realize how much they miss you. This moment of reflection is powerful. They think back to all the times you were there for them. You were the one who showed genuine interest in their life. You listened to their stories, celebrated their successes, and offered support during tough times. They begin to understand that your presence brought warmth and comfort to their world. As time goes on, they reflect on the consistency you provided. You were always the one who put in effort. You checked in on them regularly, made plans, and created memories together. Now, with your absence, they feel a void. It's a stark contrast to the comfort of knowing you were always there. They start to understand that they took you for granted. This realization hits hard. They may not have valued your efforts before, but now, without you, they feel the weight of their mistake. They think about how you always made them feel special. Your kindness and attention were rare, and they start to see that. They begin to grasp the idea that they lost something significant. In this moment, they might feel a wave of nostalgia. Memories flood back, reminding them of the good times you shared. They may replay conversations in their mind, remembering the laughter and the deep talks. The absence of those moments becomes palpable. They realize that those times were not just good, they were meaningful. This realization can be overwhelming. They may feel sadness creeping in as they understand the depth of what they lost. Your absence forces them to confront their feelings. They begin to question their decisions. Why didn't they appreciate you more when they had the chance? This inner dialogue is crucial. It prompts them to reflect on their own behavior and the choices they made in the relationship. Ultimately, this realization marks a turning point. They start to understand the importance of valuing connections. Your disappearance becomes a catalyst for change. They realize that they need to do better if they want to rekindle what was lost. Number 2, urge to reconnect. As they come to terms with the loss, an intense urge to reconnect begins to grow within them. They can't shake the feeling that they need to reach out to you. This urge often starts subtly. They may begin by liking your social media posts. It's a small gesture, but it's their way of testing the waters. They want to see if you'll notice them again. Then, they might send a random message. This message is an attempt to break the silence. They hope it will open the door to a conversation. Even if it's just a casual check-in, it means a lot to them. It shows that they still care, but there's a layer of anxiety beneath their actions. They fear that you might not respond. The thought of being ignored is daunting. This urge is stronger if you shared a deep connection. They think about all the moments you shared, the bond that once brought you together. The memories become a driving force behind their desire to reconnect. They remember how you always understood them, and made them feel valued. The longing to regain that connection grows. For someone from an old relationship, this urge can be even more intense. They start to realize how much they miss you specifically. The times you tried to make things work flood their mind. They recall the efforts you made to keep the relationship alive. Each memory adds to their desire to pull you back into their life. They may even start asking mutual friends about you. This is their way of gathering information without directly reaching out. They want to know how you're doing, if you're seeing someone else, or if you ever mention them. This curiosity fuels their urge to reconnect. They want to know what you're thinking, what you're feeling, and if there's still a chance for the two of you. As the days go by, the urge becomes more urgent. They find themselves daydreaming about reaching out. Their mind races with possibilities. What if you respond positively? What if you're still open to talking? They begin to feel a mix of hope and fear. The hope of rekindling a connection is powerful, but the fear of rejection looms large. Ultimately, this urge to reconnect becomes a pivotal moment for them. They know they have to act or risk losing you forever. The desire to make things right drives them forward, pushing them to take that first step. Number 3, battle of relief and regret. As they navigate the feelings of loss and the urge to reconnect, a battle begins within them. It's a complex emotional struggle between relief and regret. When you first disappeared, they may have felt a sense of relief. The space felt freeing. They thought they could finally breathe without the pressures of your attention. They might have convinced themselves that this separation was what they needed. But that relief is fleeting. As time passes, regret begins to creep in. It starts with small thoughts that catch them off guard. They might think, maybe I should have tried harder, or maybe I was too distant. These thoughts grow and multiply until they overshadow the initial relief. Regret becomes a heavy weight on their heart. They begin to realize how wrong they were to assume you would always be there. The comfort of your presence was something they took for granted. Now, without you, they see the reality of their mistake. They start to reflect on the good times you had together. The laughter, the shared moments, the support. You were a constant source of joy in their life. For someone new, this regret feels like a missed opportunity. They think about all the chances they had to build something meaningful with you. At first, they may have enjoyed their newfound freedom, but now they're left wondering what could have been if they had only valued you more. They regret not investing in the relationship when they had the chance. In an old relationship, the regret runs even deeper. Initially, they may have felt a weight lifted off their shoulders when you pulled away. They thought they could move on easily. But as days turn into weeks, the emptiness grows. The memories flood back, reminding them of how much they took you for granted. They realize they didn't appreciate the love and effort you poured into the relationship. This battle of relief and regret is more than just an emotional struggle. It's a wake-up call. They start to understand that what they thought was freedom was, in reality, the absence of something meaningful. They're left with a heavy burden, the knowledge that they let something valuable slip through their fingers. Ultimately, this inner battle shapes their perspective. It pushes them to confront their feelings and make changes in their life. They begin to understand the importance of valuing the connections they have. This newfound awareness is crucial for their personal growth. Number 4, desire to play games. As regret settles in, another feeling stirs within them, the desire to play games. This desire is a desperate attempt to regain some control over the situation. Instead of facing their emotions head-on, they resort to tactics aimed at luring you back. They hope to manipulate the situation without admitting their mistakes. One classic move is acting indifferent. They might pretend not to care about your absence, thinking that this will spark your interest again. They want to mirror your behavior, hoping you'll chase after them. This tactic is a classic move in the game of relationships. They believe that by acting like they're unaffected, you'll come running back. They may also try to make you jealous. They might start posting on social media, showing off a life that seems full and exciting without you. This is another way to test the waters. They hope that seeing them having fun will trigger a reaction from you. They want you to feel the pang of missing them. If they know you're watching, they might flirt with others in front of you. This is an attempt to provoke a response, to see if you still care. They want to gauge your interest and see if they still have an effect on you. But here's the thing, their strategy is flawed. They've already lost the upper hand. You're no longer playing the game. You've stepped back and reclaimed your power. You're beyond their tactics. While they try to manipulate the situation, you see right through their actions. Their desire to play games only reveals their insecurity. They may believe they can regain control, but you're already aware of the truth. For someone new, this game can feel like a test. They pretend to be unaffected by your absence, hoping you'll break the silence. But as the days pass without a word from you, their confidence begins to crack. They want you to reach out first, but their desire is met with frustration. Every day without communication deepens their anxiety. In an old relationship, the games get trickier. They might engage in hot and cold behavior, sending you mixed signals to see if you'll react. But this time, you're not falling for it. You've outgrown the need for validation from their tricks. You see the game for what it is, a desperate attempt to regain control over a situation they can no longer handle. Ultimately, the desire to play games is a last-ditch effort to win you back. But you've already won by stepping out of the game. You've established your worth, and you no longer need to chase after someone who plays games. You've reclaimed your power, and that's what truly matters. Number 5. Confusion. When you disappear, confusion reigns. They start to question everything. Why did they lose touch? What went wrong? These questions swirl in their minds, creating a storm of uncertainty. This confusion often stems from the lack of closure. Without answers, they feel lost. They replay every interaction, trying to decipher the signals you sent. They think back to your last conversation. Was there something they missed? They may analyze your words and tone, searching for clues. This process can be exhausting. They find themselves caught in a loop of overthinking. Every little detail becomes significant. They start to doubt themselves. Did I say something wrong? Was I too much? These thoughts weigh heavily on their minds. For someone new, this confusion can be particularly disorienting. They wonder if they misinterpreted the connection. Did they read too much into your gestures? They think about the moments you shared, trying to understand your intentions. This uncertainty can lead to self-doubt. They might feel insecure about their worthiness, questioning if they are good enough. In an old relationship, this confusion intensifies. They might wonder if you are hurt or angry. They think about the arguments or misunderstandings that led to your distance. The lack of communication leaves them guessing. They are unsure of where they stand. Are you moving on? Or are you just giving them space? The unknown is daunting, and they crave clarity. This confusion can lead to a sense of isolation. They may want to reach out to mutual friends for insight, but hesitate, fearing it may complicate things further. The lack of direct communication creates a chasm between what they feel and what they understand. They yearn for answers, but the silence amplifies their confusion. As the days pass, this confusion becomes a burden. It affects their mood and outlook. They find it challenging to focus on anything else. The emotional weight is heavy, and they struggle to move forward. They begin to feel stuck in this state of uncertainty, unable to find resolution. Ultimately, this confusion serves as a catalyst for reflection. It forces them to confront their feelings. They may start to understand that seeking clarity is essential for their emotional well-being. This process of untangling their thoughts becomes a crucial part of their journey. Number 6. Fear of the unknown. With confusion comes a deep-seated fear of the unknown. The silence is deafening, and it breeds anxiety. They worry about what your absence means for their future. This fear can be paralyzing. They might think about worst-case scenarios. What if they've moved on? What if I never hear from them again? The uncertainty is terrifying. They may start to imagine a future without you in it. This thought feels heavy and overwhelming. The idea of letting go is daunting. They remember the joy you brought into their life and can't help but feel a sense of loss. The fear of losing someone significant drives their thoughts. They realize that you were more than just a passing presence. You played a pivotal role in their happiness. For someone new, this fear manifests as a worry about their future interactions. They wonder if they'll ever have the chance to build something meaningful with you. The thought of missing out on a potential relationship becomes unbearable. They crave the opportunity to explore what could have been. In an old relationship, this fear deepens. They think about all the shared moments and how easily those can fade. Memories that once brought happiness now evoke sadness. They start to question the future of their connections. Will things ever return to normal? The fear of an unfulfilled future looms large. This fear can lead to impulsive decisions. They may contemplate reaching out despite the anxiety it brings. The desire to know is stronger than the fear of rejection. They feel the urgency to break the silence and seek clarity. But this is a double-edged sword. They fear that reaching out might lead to more pain if the response isn't what they hope for. As days turn into weeks, this fear of the unknown begins to weigh on them. It affects their daily life, clouding their thoughts. They find it challenging to focus on anything else. The emotional burden becomes a constant companion. They feel trapped in a cycle of worry and uncertainty. Ultimately, this fear drives them to seek answers. It pushes them to confront their emotions and take action. They understand that the unknown is a part of life, but they want to regain control over their situation. This journey becomes a crucial step toward healing and understanding. Number 7. Isolation. As the confusion and fear linger, a sense of isolation sets in. They begin to feel cut off from the world. The absence of your presence leaves a void that's hard to fill. They might withdraw from friends and family, feeling like no one understands their pain. This isolation is both physical and emotional. They feel alone in their struggle. In moments of quiet, the weight of their emotions becomes palpable. They miss the conversations you used to have, the laughter, and the shared experiences. Without you, the world feels a little less vibrant. Their social life may suffer as they struggle to engage with others. The thought of being around people becomes daunting. They feel like they are in a bubble, separate from everyone else. For someone new, this isolation can be particularly disheartening. They may have invested time and energy into building a connection with you, only to find themselves alone. They crave the companionship that your presence provided. The feeling of being left out becomes overwhelming. They think about the moments they could have shared with you and how different their reality feels now. In an old relationship, this sense of isolation intensifies. They remember the times you supported them through tough moments. Your absence is a stark reminder of the emotional safety net you provided. They begin to realize how much they relied on you. This isolation can lead to feelings of sadness and despair. They feel like they are drifting in a sea of loneliness. This emotional isolation can also trigger self-reflection. They may start to question their worth and their ability to connect with others. The silence makes them feel small, and they wonder if they'll ever find that kind of connection again. They might feel invisible, as if their feelings don't matter to anyone. As days turn into weeks, this isolation can become suffocating. They crave connection but feel too vulnerable to reach out. They may miss out on social events, preferring to stay home rather than face the outside world. The loneliness deepens, and they start to feel trapped in their own emotions. Ultimately, this sense of isolation is a call to action. It encourages them to confront their feelings and seek support. They begin to realize that opening up to others can be a path to healing. This process of reaching out becomes essential for their emotional well-being. Number 8, hope for reconciliation. Amid the confusion, fear, and isolation, a glimmer of hope emerges. They start to hold on to the possibility of reconciliation. This hope becomes a lifeline. It fuels their desire to reach out and reconnect with you. They begin to fantasize about a future where you both can mend what was broken. This hope often manifests in small ways. They might revisit old messages or photos, reminiscing about the good times. Each memory reinforces their belief that there's still a chance for a second opportunity. They start to visualize a scenario where you both have a heart-to-heart conversation, clearing the air and rediscovering your connection. For someone new, this hope is intertwined with anticipation. They think about the possibilities and what the future could hold. They imagine how wonderful it would be to build something beautiful with you. This thought alone brings a smile to their face. They believe that there's still a chance for a meaningful relationship. In an old relationship, this hope takes on a deeper significance. They think about all the moments you shared and the love that existed between you. Despite the difficulties, they start to believe that reconciliation is possible. They might even plan out what they would say if they had the chance to speak with you again. This hope gives them strength to endure the emotional turmoil. This hope can act as a motivator. It encourages them to work on themselves during this period of absence. They may take steps to improve their emotional health, knowing that they want to present their best self when the time comes to reconnect. They see hope as a guiding light, leading them through the darkness. However, this hope can also create tension. They may find themselves daydreaming about how things could play out. The anticipation builds, but the fear of disappointment lingers. They know that there's no guarantee you'll want the same thing. This uncertainty can be both thrilling and anxiety-inducing. Ultimately, this hope for reconciliation serves as a beacon. It pushes them to consider reaching out, to take the risk of vulnerability. They begin to understand that hope can lead to healing, paving the way for a new beginning. And now, as we wrap up, let this be your reminder. True power lies in knowing when to step away and hold firm to your worth. When you're no longer there, they'll feel it: the silence, the space, the absence they never thought they'd miss. And in that void, they'll come to realize just what they lost. Remember, it's not about playing games. It's about showing yourself the respect you deserve. You are your own foundation, your own strength. When you choose to walk away, it's not a sign of weakness, but a sign of wisdom. As the Stoics say, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. I don't let anyone take your peace. You've shown them what you have to offer, and now it's up to them to see it, if they ever do. So, as you step back and let them feel the impact of your absence, hold on to your sense of self. Let their regret be a reminder that you were always worth the effort they never gave. You don't need anyone to validate your worth. You are complete as you are. If this message resonated with you, be sure to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear this. And drop "I stand unshaken" in the comments below if you're ready to hold your ground and live life on your own terms. Stay resilient, stay strong, and remember, your worth was never in question.